Yo, yo, what's up? We're gonna go over the GOAT today. To me, this guy's the GOAT because he was the most universal player. He did it all. If you make one slip up, he's gonna find it. And he could also draw you into deep waters. It's kind of like Magnus in that his endgame technique was better than everybody, leaps and bounds ahead of all the rest. And nobody was beating him in a match. In a serious match, if Fischer come in serious and good frame of mind, nobody's beating this guy. Okay, look at this game. Mecking was playing on ICC for a long time, actually. And I think he was one of the cats with a 3,500 rating because Mecking was actually number 3 in the world at some moment, behind Karpov and Korchnoi. Not a lot of people know that about Mecking. Uh, Big genius. Anyway, I don't like giving Fischer an e5 square. This is the kind of thing I would try to avoid. Personally, I would play a6. I always play a6 against this, just so I don't want this bishop on b5. Then I guess they go c4 or something. I'm not sure. Like, computer doesn't want to play a6, but you don't want to give your opponent such a clear plan, right? To just start plunking pieces on e5, and this attack, it's too easy, especially for a guy like Bobby. And these, you see how the left hand side of the board is kind of cut, and you can't get back. Maybe you have to move the queen and play bishop e8 or something. Um, Now he's threatening to win the game. So you have to take this. And, he gets this clamp. All the pieces are. You see how the everything is cut? Like, these two guys over here just don't play. And all the white pieces are perfectly placed. And this attack is just. You have to do something. Um, by the way, in this position, he was threatening queen takes g7. So you kind of had to get rid of it. And now it's a mate threat on g7, so you have to play this. And then, like, if you go g6, then the rook goes on f6 and you resign, right? So you kind of have to do this. And I guess he just missed this move. And this was very smart, this one hanging. And now you have a square on e5 again. You're down a pawn against top, endgame player. He's just going to polish this off real easily. Like, easily. Terrible. Terrible. Now your e5 pawn is weak. Check. He's just winning every pawn in the world. Take that and okay. No counterplay. Zero counterplay. Can't play like that against him. You have to get dynamic. Let's go back to the database here because I did see a couple of cool games. Oh, this Greenblatt program. This is kind of nice. Has anybody seen this one? 1977 against the computer, and Accelerated Dragon. And he just goes back. I think modern players play knight d5 and sack this pawn. But this is also a fine way to do it. I believe I played a few games with my friend Reverby in this position. But I don't know why you're putting the bishop on c4 to get punted back. That sort of mistake. Let's look at that sequence one more time. Okay. So b3 softening the diagonal. And now kind of has to do that because it's all very clear. Uh, two bishops. Uh-huh. You can't take this one because of this. And then this one's forever pin. You lose immediately. He doesn't even make D1 queen. He's torturing the machine. Not only is he a genius, but he's sadistic against a computer. See? That's a strange man right there. Torture the computer. We need him. We're going to need him. It's essential. It's too bad. Manhattan Blitz. This tournament in 71, I think he got like 14 and a half out of 15 against all the best players. Then in 70, he did that Herceg-Novi thing, Yugoslavia, where he won that like 18 and a half out of, I don't know what, 22, something crazy. Candidates, we saw a little bit. Prototype, no, I was like trying to find Fischer Smyslov. That's a very long game. The Herceg-Novi Blitz, no. Oh, this interzonal, this was important because it was like, who's going to play? There's Mecking again. Who's going to play candidates? And Geller, this long game, it's too long. Forget it. This thing. Smyslov. Ultra symmetrical variation. Oh, I'm logged in over here. Put that down. Oh, he thinks he's gonna play like keep it nice and tidy against Bobby, play it simple. But this is already very dynamic. And then hopeless. The Gligoric. Gligorich. Petrosian system. He's on another level. He's just not human. He's not human. Almost got to meet him at the pub in Iceland. They refused to tell me where he was, but I was close with people from his generation from New York, and I wanted to tell him, so and so says hi, but they wouldn't tell me where he was, and tried to get a message to him, but I couldn't get to him. Um, you lose a game once in a blue moon. All right, we'll try to find one more. Um, Benoni, Benoni. Ullman was that cat. He was very famous for playing the French defense, and we know him from Karpov Ullman, a famous game in 92 line, Tarash. Karpov beat the French to death. Benoni. Okay, so this dude is hanging. So, oops, more tic tacs. And the point is, if he takes the bishop, you go bishop takes c3, bc, knight c, and these two guys get forked. More tic tacs. e2 hanging, trade this, and so essentially he snapped a pawn. He didn't lose his dark bishop, and b2 is weak, and he just sees everything. That one's hanging too. Check to his majesty. Yum yum. How are you beating this cat? You can't take this one. Rook d6, king e5 traps a rook. The man is invincible. I would have liked to see him play Karpov in 75 because Karpov was amazing, but he would have given him a lesson too. Depends on his mindset. It was all about Fischer's head. If Fischer was in a good place, nobody was ever going to beat him a match. Nobody. Not Kasparov, not Magnus, nobody. Nobody. Because nobody reproduced these results. Magnus Carlsen could never beat a candidate 6-0. No. Imagine 6-0 and then going 6-0 against the next candidate. Impossible. Like, go down the trough. Think about who Magnus Carlsen could beat. I understand preparation is different nowadays, but Magnus is a super genius, so he'll figure out a way to try to win all the games. Basically, just keep him sitting at the board forever. That's generally what he likes to do until they make a mistake. But think about it. You're talking like somebody like Benny Bach. He's not going to be able to beat Benny Bach 6-0. Well, none of those guys who are in that 2650 level, he can't beat them. But Fischer beat him back. I mean, it's incredible when you think about it. It's incredible. The domination Magnus showed against Nepomniachtchi was cool, but after Nepo, got cracked in that long game, then he kind of fell apart. But Fabiano, he didn't demonstrate any superiority over Fabiano in their match, and then he almost lost to Karyakin, right? So Magnus is amazing. I mean, he's a phenomenal genius, but I don't think he's at Fischer's level. All right, guys, what do you think? I'll check you later.